Thank you and welcome to the Peralta Community College Board of Trustees meeting. And it is July 13th and we are calling the meeting to order at 6:09 p.m. 6:09 p.m. Roll call, please. Sasha.
Student Trustee Hogan.
Here.
Okay. Student Trustee Cooper.
Here.
Trustee Withrow.
Here.
Trustee Jenkins.
Here.
Trustee Handy. She's not in yet. Trustee Delphin Polk.
Here.
Trustee Bonilla. Absent. Trustee Gonzalez-Ewan.
I'm right here.
And Trustee Napolia Bellaris.
Here.
Okay. Give a form.
Great, thank you. Let's, I hear an echo. Let's go to 2.3, Pledge of Allegiance. President Besikoff, are you in the room? Would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, I am. Please begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you. All right, let's move on to 2.4, the affirmation of the Statement of Cooperation. And as per usual, I'm going to start off our meeting with a reading of the affirmation of the Statement of Cooperation. We, the Peralta Community College District Board of Trustees, commit to the following in our efforts to help students reach their educational goals. We agree to listen and seek to understand others and opposing viewpoints with the expectation of good intentions and a deep commitment to the district students. Number 2, we commit to being prepared for each meeting and to work within our established communication protocols. When we seek additional information, members will receive the agenda in advance of each meeting and adhere to board policy 2340 for adding items to the agenda. Number 3, we have reviewed the board's code of ethics and commit to reviewing it annually at our organizational meeting to remind ourselves of the behavior we are to exhibit and the guidelines we are to follow in our role. Number 4, if the code of ethics is violated, we commit to follow the process stated in the code and will first address concerns informally to settle disagreements one-on-one between and among members before moving to the formal process. Number 5, we agree that from time to time, the chair will remind members of appropriate behavior and may call for a recess or redirect members if they stray away from the topic of conversation. Number 6, we collectively recognize that it is within the duties and authority of the chair to render decisions or take actions to keep our meetings on track in adherence to board policy. Number 7, we will strive to fulfill the vision we established for ourselves. And number 8, we will model the behavior we want others to exhibit. All right, let's go to 2.5, report of action taken in closed session. Vice President Gonzalez-Ewan, is there a closed session readout at all?
There is, Madam President, at tonight's closed session, the board voted on the following items. Item 1.4, public employee appointment. We voted 6 in the affirmative with 0 no's and 1 abstention. Trustee Bonilla on the following items. The recommendation to appoint Christopher Lewis as the Dean of Math, Science, and Career Education at Berkeley City College at an annual salary of $132,580, effective July 14, 2021 through June 30, 2023. This position reports to the Vice President of Instruction. Ratification of Chancellor's appointment of Chalon Rogers, excuse if I pronounced that incorrectly, as the Interim Director of Facilities Planning and Development in the District Office at an annual salary of $103,759, effective July 1, 2021 through June 30, 2023. And lastly, the ratification of Chancellor's appointment of Deo Diggs as the Facilities Project Manager, District Office at an annual salary of $115,287, effective July 12, 2021 through June 30, 2023. Madam President, that concludes the closed session readout for tonight. Actually, let me just clarify, the 6 aye votes were trustees Withrow, Jenkins, Handy, Delphine Polk, myself, Gonzalez Yuan, and President Napoli Abella Reese. That concludes the closed session readout for tonight.
Thank you, Vice President Gonzalez Yuan. Let's go to 2.6, approval of the agenda. We have a couple items that need to be removed and or moved. If we could move our action items first and also take out agenda item 7.9. Do I need a motion for that, Natasha, or can I actually just insert that in the process? Okay.
I'll move approval of the agenda as described, moving the action items first. And well, after, before consent, after informational items, but before consent, and with the removal of, was it 7.9?
Correct.
Okay, I make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Trustee Gonzalez Yuan, and second by Trustee Withrow.
Student Trustee Hogan,
Yes.
Student Trustee Cooper,
Yes.
Trustee Withrow,
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
Trustee Handy,
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
Trustee Bonilla, absent. Trustee Gonzalez Yuan,
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Abella Reese.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Let's move on to 2.7, approval of the minutes for the June 22nd, 2021 regular meeting. May I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Withrow. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez Yuan. Any discussion? Let's move on to roll call.
Student Trustee Hogan,
Yes.
Student Trustee Cooper,
Yes.
Trustee Withrow,
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
Trustee Handy,
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan,
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Abella Reese.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 2.8, Associated Student Government Reports. Do we have any student leaders in the room? Sasha or Madam Board Clerk? Student Academic Senate Student Presidents?
I do not see anybody representing tonight.
I see 2 hands raised. Student trustees have their hands raised.
The student trustees have their hand raised. I don't see any hand raised.
They did it on the camera.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sounds good. Micah and then Lisa.
Thank you. Hello. The Associated Students of Merritt College are proud to announce the adoption of the Student Engagement Task Force Resolution. We are assembling its members in hopes of being ready for action come the start of the semester. It aims to survey, collect data, assess our current gaps in student engagement, identify the sources of such barriers, and formulate plans to overcome them. We hope with more student involvement in these processes, we will gain an objective understanding of what it is our students need, what they love, and what they struggle most with. Our goal is to revolutionize the impacted harmony of Merritt College's culture and sense of community.
Thank you, Student Trustee Cooper. Let's move to Student Trustee Hogan.
I will be working, I'm Vice President of Council Governance, and I will be working closely with Mr. Cooper with trying to have more student engagement with the clubs and organizations that we have there at Merritt College. I am a student at Merritt College. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 2.9. Let's go to the Peralta Classified Senate report.
Hello, can everybody hear me this evening?
Yes, we can, Terrence. Good evening.
Good evening to everyone. Good evening, President Reese, members of the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Jackson, presidents, and guests. Tonight we have 3 classified Senate campus reports. First report comes from the Berkeley City College Classified Senate. BCC's new classified leadership president, Andrea Williams, Vice President Fumi Sayavong, and Secretary Treasurer Jennifer Lanahan met for the first time in a formal capacity on July 7th to discuss planning activities for the 2021 through 2022 year. The first official meeting with the new classified Senate leadership will be July 28th from 3 to 4 p.m. with a happy hour following at 4 p.m. to socialize and interact informally with fellow classified professionals. A jam board will be added to the classified Senate meetings to encourage participation from those hesitant to verbally share. Classifieds may leave a question or provide feedback or suggestions so that all participants may feel connected instead of relying only on the chat function in Zoom. To enhance personal and career development, a classified professional development workshop is planned for the first week in August. Some of the topics will include developing career goals, learning about individual work styles, incorporating radical empathy in both our personal and professional lives. The 5th, the Classified Professional Leadership Team is instituting an Employee of the Quarter award to acknowledge and celebrate the important work classified professionals do. Nomination forms will go out the month prior to the end of the quarter and will be decided upon by the Classified Professional Leadership Team. Winners will be announced the last Wednesday of each quarter. The second report comes from the Laney College Classified Senate. The Laney Classified Senate election nominations have begun. The Laney Classified Senate has started working on the Rene Rivas Classified Professional Scholarship for inauguration for the 2021-2022 scholarship season. The third and final report comes from the District Service Center Classified Senate, and it is a statement. Greetings, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Jackson, the Executive Leadership Team, union leaders, Senate leaders, and student body leaders. I, Brandy Howard, am forwarding this personal statement in place of our standard District Service Center Classified Senate report. Let's take this time to intentionally consider the current state of the PCCD classified staff, whom I refer to as classified experts. Each staff person represents a household that is impacted by the pandemic. Please consider the emotional, mental, and financial toll the pandemic may have taken on our classified experts. Let's consider mental balance, emotional support, and an increase in home expenses. While some classified experts identified the benefits of working from home, others calculated rising expenses which equated to added hardship. Please view the PCCD classified experts as human beings, overflowing with unique intelligence, insight, and immeasurable experience. Would you please take account of demonstrated loyalty and services rendered under the ever-changing PCCD administrative leadership team? Please consider who's showing up, listening, and capturing your ideas and taking action to bring them to fruition. Please consider the mental and emotional health and wellness of those we rely on to maintain the operations of this fine institution. Let's do our best to demonstrate our consideration for the human beings, the classified experts, that contribute significantly to educating our community. I applaud your effort and recognize the courage it must take to remind colleagues that classified experts represent more than an actionable task list. Classified experts partnered with faculty, students, and administration are the heart of the surrounding community. Let's invest in our own every opportunity we get. Thank you, Chancellor Jackson, for demonstrating how a listening ear followed up with affirmation and support can go a long way. Dr. Keith L. Clark of Word Assembly AFC often says, when people are given the right facts, they normally do the right thing. I believe proper and factual consideration is the first step. So please take courage, visit your classified Senate leaders, and ask. That is the end of the campus reports. Thank you very much for your support of the Peralta Classified Senate.
Thank you, Terrence, for that. Let's move to 2.10, District Academic Senate Report. Madam Board Clerk, is Donald in the room?
I do not see him.
Okay.
Doesn't look like there will be a report out.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to 2.11, Public Communication. Vice President Gonzalez-Yuen, would you like to take that over?
Thank you. We have 5 people who've signed up for public comment. I'm going to read the names out, and if they're actually here, if you could just indicate by putting your name in the chat. If we've had some confusion about people who are signing up and whether they're signing up for comment or whether they're actually just wanting to be in the room. So the names are Kathy Bryant, Richard Tholey, Lily Lung, Rebecca Upsata, and Siddiqui Caro. If you're present and you would like to speak, could you put your name in the chat, and then we can move you over.
Are they able to chat?
They can raise their hand. They should
Or raise
have them
hand.
raise their hand.
Thank you. If you can raise your hands. I'm seeing Rebecca Upsata, Richard Tholey.
No raised hands.
Richard
Okay,
Tholey
Rebecca
raised his
says, I'm
hand.
just here to listen.
Richard
and-
Tholey raised his hand. Would you like me to promote him?
Please do.
Okay.
And I think that's it. So I believe the only public comment we have who is present is Richard Tholey. President Tholey, are you in the room? You have 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening. I'll keep it short. My name is Richard Tholey. I am the SEIU 1021 chapter president for our classified professionals at the Peralta Colleges. And I just want to briefly touch base. I know I made comments before closed session, but I just want to reiterate, that we did have a sampling of our classified staff that did reach out and send emails and, personal messages of personal experiences, through the last year and a half through the COVID-19 pandemic, to express some of the hardships that they faced, but as well to, I think to identify the accomplishments, right? And just to show how much it took to, I think, successfully support our students, support the community, and keep the functions of the district, operating at its, fullest capacity. And so, we did have classified professionals reach out to the Board of Trustees, and I hope that you did, get a chance to look at that. And if you haven't, please do so in the near future. My apologies, Student Trustee Cooper and Hogan, I couldn't find your emails at the time. And so hopefully those emails can either be forwarded to you by your fellow trustees, or please put your emails in the chat, or somehow please ensure that those are easily accessible for people to reach out to you. And so here just advocating for our classified professionals, permanent, our part-time, our hourly. Just want to, point out that many of our classified professionals, we're students and have transitioned and have moved to the pipeline of being students, becoming hourly employees, and then full-time classified staff, which in turn, completes that circle, because then they're providing that assistance again to the community and to the students, supporting faculty, and administration as well. And so please just want to underscore the importance of our current negotiations and the proposals that SEIU 1021 has put forth to the district negotiations team. And, it's really, trying to look at addressing our, not having had that opportunity to come to the table since 2018. And so we're hoping that there is some consideration and some recognition and support for our classified professionals. And I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. And I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe, Madam President, that we don't have any other people who've signed up for public comment who are actually here. So I'm going to hand the gavel back to you.
Great. Thank you for that. As we had stated at the beginning of the meeting, we're going to move on to our action items. So let's go to 8.1. Consider approval of classified personnel items. I have a motion.
Move approval.
May I have a second for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Discussion? Let's do roll call, please, Madam Board Clerk.
Student Trustee Hogan,
Yes.
Student Trustee Cooper,
Yes.
Trustee Withrow,
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
Trustee Handy,
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan,
Yes.
Trustee Napolia Bellarice.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Action item 8.2, consider approval of resolution number 21/22-32 to reduce, eliminate certain services and provide related layoff notices. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Withrow.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Jenkins. Discussion?
I'm simply underinformed about this item. What exactly would these layoff services be that would be eliminated?
Vice Chancellor McKinley, can you address the question and give a short update?
Yes, I can do that. We had a grant with the National Science Foundation, which is terminated effective June 30th of this year. It's moved to UC Berkeley. And there are 2 positions that were funded or paid for through that grant, the Best Center Manager and the Best Center Program Coordinator. Those 2 positions then will be eliminated. And the 2 incumbents will then be given WARN Act notices of 60 days following this meeting with regard to layoff. And just so you'll know, we did offer the 2 incumbents open positions that were consistent with their same level, and they declined those positions. So they have chosen to accept the layoffs.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez Ewan.
While I intend to vote in the affirmative on this particular layoff, and I realize that curriculum is not in the purview of the board, I would like to note that this area of our work is vital to the function of our district. The fact that this grant has lapsed, that the work in that area is struggling is a lost opportunity. It's really a lost opportunity throughout the district. The planet is melting down. This district has had 15 years to take action in a positive way on the board policy on environmental sustainability. We're out of compliance. But I think that what's more important than even the board policy is what we are doing with our students on a curriculum level and on a job training level in this area. So again, this is out of our scope. We don't dictate curriculum, But if as a district, we are not paying attention to this area, we are failing in some really basic way. And I think we all need to own that. So let's take this opportunity to really look and say, well, what in fact are we doing to address the climate crisis that is now really fully on us, which is no longer, I'll quit pontificating. I've been doing this for 15 years. I'll stop and just, please, can we fix ourselves in this area? Can we take leadership in this area for our communities? Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Gonzalez-Yuan. Let us take roll call, please.
Student trustee Hogan,
Yes.
student trustee Cooper,
Yes.
trustee Withrow,
Yes.
trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
trustee Handy,
Yes.
trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez-Yuan,
Yes.
trustee Napolia Bellaris.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. 8.3, consider approval of resolution number 21/22-35, authorizing lease of relocatable structures for the Merritt College Landscape Horticultural Complex interim housing project pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 20652, and an agreement incorporating piggyback contract with Mobile Modular Management Corporation in an amount not to exceed $286,474. Can I have a motion for that?
Move approval. Second.
Did you know, Madam Board Clerk? if you
Withrow.
know- Thank you. Okay,
Withrow first, Human second.
thank you. Discussion, please. No? Okay, let's do roll call.
I would, I'm very excited about this item, but I'd love to just ask out of diligence how we came into this particular contractor.
Dr. Jackson, Chancellor Jackson, would you like to respond to that?
I think trustee Micah, I'm not sure, your name is kind of cut off, so I see Micah. I think that we have certain policies and procedures, and neither of the two student trustees have come in for kind of an orientation. So I have recommended that both of you attend the state training, because it'll address a lot of the questions that you may have, Micah, as we go through. But we have a policy based upon putting out bids for different projects. We try to take sometimes the lowest bidder. That isn't always the case. Sometimes it is an addendum to an existing contract and we just expand that contract. Or it could be that we've had dealings with the individual before, and so there's a limited number, so we do sole sourcing. So it really depends on that. But I encourage you to get in touch with my executive staff, Sasha Amiri, who is the board secretary, which you can see on the screen, or Maisha Jameson, and really set up a meeting for me to sit down and go over some of those things with both of you, because this is an opportunity for you to learn as part of your education too, but beyond just the classroom. So if you do have questions, let me know, but there's certain things that are standard, and so you're going to see a lot of contracts tonight about construction. It's going to be part of our return to campus. You'll see some of that in terms of looking at HVAC, looking at water, looking at filter changes, and those types of things. So a lot of the action items that you see this evening are dealing with that kind of return to campus, and also in preparation for some of the projects that we have going on at the campuses. And particularly at Merritt with the horticulture, you'll see some things on that coming up also. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Chancellor. It's very helpful. I have a degree of familiarity with a lot of that, though it's newer to me. I guess in this instance, I'm curious if we did in fact follow procedure of doing the collecting bids, or whether this was in fact a contractor we've gone with before, so we continued on with them again, or if there's maybe a third possibility I don't know of.
If you have any specific questions, can we take it offline and I can provide that information? I don't have it right now off the top of my head. And I don't want to hold everybody up, and I can address your questions and give you kind of an overview, like I said. And usually you can tell by the reading of the background description how we selected that particular vendor. And I saw Interim Vice Chancellor Etheria Smith, and on this particular item, Etheria, you want to provide any more clarity than I've already done?
Sure, maybe I can help. Good evening, everyone. Student trustee, for a piggyback agreement, usually that entity or that organization, that vendor has provided the lowest possible bid, and also for highest and best quality use for a particular item. And it is a bid that has been circulated by a number of districts, and they were the successful bidders. They were awarded a contract, so then other districts can then benefit of that piggyback agreement, where other districts can benefit from the lowest bids. And so that's why we are piggybacking on the mobile modular for this particular item.
Thank you. That clears up, and I realized the piggyback term was where I was foggy on that. Thank you so much, both of you.
Sure. Thank you. Madam Board Clerk, can we do a roll call, please?
Student trustee Hogan? Trustee Hogan? Not here. Okay, marker as absent. Student trustee Cooper?
Yes, and by the look of the other student trustee's screen, I think we're a signal issue.
Oh, okay. Then I will try to come back to her. Thank you. Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins?
Yes.
Trustee Handy?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Bonilla, absent. Trustee Gonzalez-Yuan?
Yes.
Trustee Napolia Bellaris?
Yes.
Okay. Student trustee Hogan, are you there?
Yes, I'm back.
Great. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So is that a yes?
Yes.
Confirmed. Motion passes.
Thank you. Let's go to 8.4, consider ratification of an independent consult agreement for special services with Forensic Analytical Consulting Services in the amount of $134,500 for a consultant to complete a qualitative HVAC system assessment to identify potential ventilation system related environmental conditions and perform an occupancy and path of travel assessment to establish classroom maximum occupancies. Can I have a motion for that?
Move
So
approval.
moved.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez-Yuan. Thank you, Trustee Withrow. Discussion?
As I would like to just, I'm going to do this every time, Micah, for you and Trustee Hogan, just because you are new. I won't be doing this every time, but because we're going to have our orientation, but you're going to see several items tonight, as I indicated, that have to do with the return to campus. Forensics Analytics not only has this action item, but it has another action item, and they're the ones that are doing our assessment of what needs to be done in terms of HVAC, in terms of air, in terms of water purification. So this is part of that contract, and you're going to see another one, but it's going to be under the consent item for them to do that work.
Thank you.
Madam Board Clerk, roll call, please.
Student trustee Hogan?
Yes.
Student trustee Cooper?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins?
Yes.
Trustee Handy?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez-Yuan?
Yes.
Trustee Napolia Bellaris?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 8.5, consider approval of an agreement incorporating CONY's master agreement for facility repair and maintenance for district-wide elevator repair and modernization work pursuant to a U.S. Communities Government Purchasing Alliance contract in an amount not to exceed $3,539,361.95. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Withrow.
Seconded.
Thank you, Trustee Cooper. Student Trustee Cooper. Discussion? Seeing none.
Do you want me to discuss that?
Yes, sure.
I'll just quickly go over that. We have 29 elevators throughout the district. This is a contract not only to go in to make some repairs, but also to modernize that equipment. And this is another one, what we call piggybacking, although this is a national contract and the awards are made at an individual local level, but they bid on a national level, so we get the best prices. So that's how this vendor was selected. And they've also done work for us previously.
Okay, thank you. Madam Board Clerk, let's do a roll call, please.
Student Trustee Hogan,
Yes.
Student Trustee Cooper,
Yes.
Trustee Withrow,
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
Trustee Handy,
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan,
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Our last three, 8.6. Consider adoption of resolution 21/22-34, authorizing a contract with Net Experts Incorporated in the amount of $403,903.88 for wireless security camera infrastructure and Wi-Fi at the College of Alameda, Merritt College and Laney College campuses.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Withrow.
Madam President, might we combine items 8.6 and 8.7?
I'll support that.
Okay,
Second.
excellent. Discussion? Seeing none, let's do roll call.
Trustee-
I just have one question. Are we yet to decide or discuss any policies regarding how the security cameras would be used and privacy related subjects?
I believe that when we initially, these are cameras that are already existing, Micah, and that discussion was held back in 2000 something, I would say 2005 or 6, when they were first installed. So they're over a decade old, and this is a replacement of that. So those issues were already addressed when we initially put them up, and they're just like any other, when you go to any other service that has cameras, they aren't there to look inside your car or to see what you're doing, inside of buildings. Most of them are external. There are some in some critical areas that are internal though, but it really is to replace the ones that are already there and to not only replace the ones that are existing in terms of physical cameras, but also to include the wireless technology.
Awesome. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Roll call, please.
Student Trustee Hogan,
Yes.
Student
Yes.
Trustee Cooper,
Yes.
Trustee Withrow,
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
Trustee Handy,
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Yuan,
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Let's go to our last action item, 8.8. Consider approval of an agreement for construction services with Rodan Builders in the amount of $1,547,000 and approval of a 10% contingency in the amount of $154,700 for a total approval of $1,701,700 for the Laney College Locker Room Interim Campus Project.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you, Withrow. Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez Yuan. Discussion?
Just as an explanation, this is to make sure that we are in compliance with Title IX, which looks at gender equity. And so this is to demolish the existing building and expand the footprint of a new locker room. And that's what the costs are for this.
Thank you, Chancellor. Madam Board Clerk, roll call, please.
Student trustee Hogan,
Yes.
student trustee Cooper,
Yes.
trustee Withrow,
Yes.
trustee Jenkins,
Yes.
trustee Handy,
Yes.
trustee Delphine Polk,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Ewan,
Yes.
trustee Napoli Bellarice.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And now mea culpa, my true apologies. Let us go back to the first part of the agenda where I skipped the Chancellor's reports and the incredibly important President's reports. All yours, Chancellor.
All right, thank you very much, President Bellarice. I'd like to start, I always like to keep the presidents on their toes so they don't know who I'm going to call on first. So they're all prepared to jump right in. But for tonight, we'll start with Laney College and President Besikoff, followed by Berkeley City College with President Angelica Garcia, and then with President Dr. Nathaniel Jones III at College of Alameda, and last and certainly not least, Dr. Johnson at Merritt College.
Good evening, Chancellor, members of the board, colleagues in education, and valued community members. First of all, I'd just like to start off tonight by saying that it's always a thrill for me when I get to lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's so cool. So just wanted to say that. I'd like to begin my report tonight by really highlighting a partnership with Oakland-based metal recycling firm Schnitzer Steel Industries. We are embarking on a 3-year partnership, and this is so exciting, to support our career and technical education programs. In the first year alone, $35,000 will be donated by Schnitzer to our machine technology and welding technology departments, with an additional $15,000 being donated to the foundation for scholarships in the future. In addition to this incredible gift, the partnership also guarantees work-based learning opportunities as well as pathways to employment that will ultimately provide livable wages for our students. This partnership really would not be possible without the hard work of our Dean of Career and Technical Education, Alejandra Tomas, as well as the support of Lanice Jones, the Executive Director of the Peralta Colleges Foundation. But also special thanks to Tassian Kwame Lely, who is the Government and Public Affairs Manager at Schnitzer, as well as a board member for our very own Peralta Colleges Foundation. Always great when I get to talk to you about external partners, and just wanted to share that this evening. In addition, within your board report this evening, you'll see some information about our food distribution efforts, which I'm happy to report will now be continuing at least through the end of the fall semester. And at the very end of our report, we've included an update for you on our facilities as well as our technology. And this is a regular report that's prepared by our Director of Facilities and Operations, Amy Marshall, as well as our Director of IT, Rupinder Bhatia. And within the summary, there's actually a link to a more detailed report in case you want to get down to the kind of nitty-gritty of what's happening on our Laney campus. Finally, this evening, I'd like to spotlight 2 of our alumni. It's always great to get to tell these stories as well. Former Laney alumnus CJ Anderson, former NFL star with the world champion Denver Broncos, as well as the Los Angeles Rams, has taken the head coaching job at Monte Vista High School in Danville. And I think as you read the report this evening, you're going to see that these student athletes at Monte Vista are not just going to be getting a great football coach, but a great life coach as well. And I think it's something for which all of us at Laney are proud, and proud of our athletic department as well. In addition to that, I'm pleased to share that Gabriela Manrique, mechanical engineering student at Laney College, has been selected by the NASA Community College Aerospace Scholars to attend the NCAS virtual experience during the summer and spring sessions. Enrico will learn about NASA's missions, get to plan a mission to the moon or Mars, and receive support and guidance by NASA mentors in this virtual experience. There's a great quote from her within this report, but in addition to that, she goes on to thank our truly outstanding engineering professor, Mallory Barkdale. So lots of good news from Laney, and with that, I'll conclude my report.
Good evening, President Napolia Bellaris, Chancellor Jackson, trustees, colleagues, and community members. This week, Berkeley City College, I believe along with our sister colleges, is participating in the Enrollment Management Academy sponsored by the California State Chancellor's Office in collaboration with UC San Diego. This 3.5-day academy encompasses all aspects of enrollment management, from nuts and bolts of calculation, fiscal impact and management, the importance of data integrity, all the way to student outreach strategies that really allow us the opportunity to ensure that we are serving students directly based on their programmatic needs. While it's still in the middle of the academy, the team at BCC is already in the process of developing further strategies in regards to schedule development, outreach, and really looking at how we align our planning with our student-centered funding formula. So I'm grateful for the team that's doing that work with colleagues from all across the state and across our district. The next item I'd like to share is that the Campaign for College Opportunity is going to be releasing a new report regarding the implementation of AB 705. Throughout April and May of this year, the campaign engaged various community college leaders across California in conversations about how college level placement is progressing at their respective campuses, and recognizing that the past year has really exacerbated inequities in the higher education system due to COVID-19, the economic recession, renewed calls to advance racial injustice, address racial injustice. There really is an urgent need to understand how these threats have impacted students and how it's impacted our colleges. So Berkeley City College was one of 13 colleges. We were really proud to be included in this report. And just as a summary cap here, AB 705 took effect in 2018, and colleges were required to fully implement these new standards for student placement by fall 2019 for English and math. And recent implementation reports using fall 2019 data show that students are directly enrolling in college level English and math at higher rates than ever before. More specifically, 57,000 more students across the state completed Gateway English courses, and 31,000 more students completed Gateway Math on their first attempt. And this is compared to fall 2015. BCC was among 13 colleges that were included in this report. Really grateful to the work of the faculty, administration, classified professionals who worked diligently to support BCC being an early adopter and full implementer of AB 705. And I would be remiss if I didn't note that as a multi-college district, it's not as if we did that alone. That was in conversation, in discussion with colleagues from across the district. So we are honored to be able to represent the Peralta Community College District. As was shared earlier this evening, we have our newly elected officers for the Berkeley City College Classified Senate. So I just want to echo the congratulations to President Andrea Williams, Vice President Dr. Pumi Sayavong, and Treasurer Jennifer Lenahan. I really look forward to continued work in support of the professional development for our classified professional colleagues. Also want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the support of the Chancellor and this board for the appointment of Mr. Christopher Lewis as the new Dean of Science, Math, and Career Education. We are excited to bring him on board and provide the leadership for continued growth in our division. And in closing, I really would like to acknowledge and thank our Local 39 colleagues for their work in ensuring that our physical spaces on campus remain clean, safe, and provide a healthy working environment, especially during these times. Thank you very much. That concludes my report for Berkeley City College.
Good evening, President Reese, trustees, Chancellor Jackson, colleagues, and guests. In my June 22nd board report, I indicated that I would provide the board with a high-level data and information regarding our aviation maintenance technology program requested by the board. I plan to do that this evening. The AMT program operates under the approval of the Federal Aviation Administration and is located at Harbor Bay Park next to the Oakland International Airport. AMT graduates are highly sought after by local airline companies, including United and American Airlines, with whom the College of Alameda maintains close working relationship. As you may recall, in 2018, the United States Economic Development Administration awarded the program a $3 million grant to expand and improve its facilities and to serve more students. The AMT program provide well-trained technicians to meet critical aviation workforce demand needs. They earn livable wages. Prior to the pandemic, enrollment in the program had been increasing. Under the leadership of the department chair, Hoi Ko, and the AMT faculty, they were able to continue to provide instruction this past year with special approval by the FAA, using a combination of in-person instruction as well as online instruction. In-person instruction being done in a safe manner using appropriate protocols. Over the past 4 years, on average, we've had 26 sections, had head count of 611, and FTES of 164. We anticipate that enrollment will rebound after the conditions related to the pandemic begin to wane. The College of Alameda free produce market has returned to campus and will be held twice monthly through the end of the fall term on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month from 12 to 3. A variety of healthy, fresh fruits and vegetable and other foods are available at no charge to students and communities who are welcome to take advantage of this resource. The Office of Student Activities and Campus Life is seeking volunteers. If you're interested in helping in this program, please feel free to contact Director Natalie Rodriguez for information on how you might volunteer. The COA Cougar Closet is now accepting donation of lightly used professional attire, baby and kids' clothes, diapers, as well as personal items. Your generous donation will help students care for their families and prepare for job interviews. So clean out those closets and help students in the process. Please feel free to contact again Director Rodriguez for details on donations. Lastly, on June the 24th and 25th, I, along with other Peralta College presidents, attended the League's 2021 CEO Leadership Academy, where we received information and participated in discussion on many relevant topics, such as enrollment recovery strategy, return to campus legal update, DEI panel discussion, effective media communication, among others. My colleague, Dr. Garcia, has already mentioned the fact that we, like the other colleges, will have or do have a team that is participating in the Enrollment Management Academy. So that ends my report this evening. Thank you for your time.
All right, all right. So good evening, President Napoli Abella-Reese, trustees, Chancellor, and Peralta colleagues. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Pleased to share the report from Merritt College. I'm going to start with some very exciting developments regarding space utilization. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but space utilization planning in the Barber Lee building at Merritt College, otherwise known as the S Building. Our preliminary discussions consider the relocation of our Division I, our Liberal Arts and Social Sciences Division, from the D Building to the first floor S Building shell space. And we also envision the creation of a state-of-the-art cybersecurity lab along the first floor corridor as well. But we anticipate the largest space in the building, which is the ground floor shell, that's going to be the new home of our microscopy, histotechnology, and biosciences programs. And then finally, we plan to designate the third floor galleries, the one with the beautiful view looking out across the city. We're going to designate that as the Barbara Lee Center for Social Justice and Civic Engagement. We've had some representatives from her office come up, and we're on the good foot in terms of moving forward toward that. And this space will afford our students the academic setting to learn, study, and research really the rich history of political participation and direct social action from a local, state, national, and global perspective. So in the coming months, we'll be working with our faculty, classified professional staff members, administration, students, and participatory governance groups and community partners to bring these plans into sharper focus. So please stay tuned. In closing, I just want to express my appreciation to everyone who came together to secure the Merritt College campus over this 4th of July. And if you've never been up here around 4th of July, you may wonder why I'm choosing to underscore this, but it's a really daunting situation because we have literally hundreds of cars that want to come up here. So, because as many of you can attest, the view from our grounds is pretty breathtaking, and this makes Merritt just a very popular place for folks to assemble and watch fireworks. Unfortunately, we've experienced from time to time those who descend upon the campus every 4th of July sometimes engage in behavior that's a little disruptive and sometimes dangerous. It's a high fire area, wooded surroundings, environs. So understandably so, we're very concerned. So upon visiting the campus on the evenings of July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, it was extremely reassuring to see officers from Marina Security and A1 Security patrolling the campus and monitoring the entrances. We also had safety officers from the Merritt College Administration of Justice program. They provided support. They were scouting the grounds and reporting issues that they encountered. There are students, so we were it was really edifying to see them get some practical experience and lean in. But I also want to thank in particular our Vice Chancellor of General Services, Etheria Smith. She's the one that kind of quarterbacked that. Our Vice President of Administrative Services at Merritt, Garth Queeson, Paul Yanez from Knowledge Save Lives. I want to thank the Administration of Justice Department Chair, Professor Mildred Oliver, and her amazing predecessor, the beloved Miss Margaret Dixon. So everyone came together, and you hear so much negativity. I just wanted to share that they did a really good job and standing in the gap. So with that said, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Presidents. I appreciate that. I would like to concede some time for my Chancellor's report to give the board an update by Mark Johnson, our Executive Director of Marketing, Public Relations, and Media. I always call the wrong name, Mark. I apologize. I'm so used to MPRC. So basically our PIO, as people like to refer to him as, but he has a much broader role than just that. So Mark, if you would give the board an update of our webpage. We're in the process of making some changes, and I'd just like to give you a sneak preview. And I'd also like for our student trustees, maybe not at this meeting, but also to give us your feedback on how you view this new change. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mark, and then I'll close out my report.
Great. Thank you very much, Chancellor. Thank you, President Reese, trustees, colleagues. It's my pleasure to give you an update on our website redesign project. Can you all see my browser and the website redesign slide?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I just have a few slides to show, and then I'm going to jump in and actually show you a demo of our new website. But first, a quick project overview. The Peralta website is the front door for information about the Peralta Community College District. And it's a little awkward for us because our website has not been redesigned in about 10 years, which is a really long time in internet years. So last year in 2020, we began a project to redesign the website with 4 really main goals. The first is, of course, attracting prospective students. Second is accessibility, providing a better experience for visually impaired users in particular. Thirdly, to have our content available in a mobile optimized format. As more and more people are using their mobile devices, that's really important. And the last thing is for better integration with our HubSpot marketing system for enhanced communications with students and prospective students. Quick recap of where we are. As I told you back in January, we installed Google Analytics, and we've been analyzing our data so that we understand how people are engaging with our website and some opportunities for us to enhance that website experience. We've solicited input from students and employees. We created a site design mock-up in-house by Marcus Creel, the district graphic design specialist, did a great job on the markup based on the input that we received. Myself and Aaron Harbor, the district web content developer, have been showing the mock-up at different groups, including our district technology committee. And I want to give a lot of gratitude to Matthew Goldstein and Antoine Mehule, the co-chairs of the district technology committee. We really appreciate the opportunity to keep them up to date with what we're doing. We've also had sessions with the Peralta Classified Senate. Thank you, Terrence, with students, including Trustee Cooper, thank you, and Cabinet. And we worked with a company called Marketing Migrations to build the design in the HubSpot content management system. We're currently using WordPress, so this is something new for us. So here's just a quick screenshot. That image on the right comes from our website as of yesterday. The image on the left comes from our website in January 2012. I pulled that off of the Internet Archive Wayback Machine. And you can see with just a few subtle differences, the design hasn't changed. And we really need it to be better than that. So here is my last slide that I'm going to show you. And I'm going to go over from the slide into the actual website. The idea for the design is to start with some basic information across the top, apply and enroll, about the colleges, some of our key external properties like Safe Peralta, Build Peralta, and the Peralta Colleges Foundation, our staff directory, and our quick search. The next level down is our key navigation area. And we've really reconsidered how we're doing this. Right now, you sort of have to understand the organization of Peralta to find information on the Peralta website. And what has come out of our many discussions is that we really need to think about our user perspective. What does a student need from the Peralta website? What do employees need from the Peralta website? And what do our community members need from the Peralta website? So we've reimagined the navigation layers based on those 3 big important cohorts for us. The next level down is an opportunity to put announcements. We have the opportunity for a hero image to show off faces like our smiling graduates. We have links to the colleges. I've received some feedback that we can enhance these links by adding the logos at this point, which I think is a really great feedback. And I want to emphasize that this is still preliminary. So if you do have suggestions, let me know. What we call a CTA, or a call to action, to enroll online now. The next section is pulling content from our blog, the Peralta Gems newsletter, so we can continue to put our best foot forward out there for the community. And then the next section down is events at Peralta. And we're still talking about how best to effectively do this, but at the very least, we'll be going from each of the 4 college sites and pulling events and consolidating them so that there's one space that people throughout the community to go to find out where the events that are happening on campus. We have a bit more opportunity or some real estate for promotion, links to the colleges, and then what we call the technical name, the really big footer at the bottom. I want to show you something very that's, like I said, one of the key things that we wanted to do was we wanted to have a site design that is mobile optimized. This website, built in the HubSpot content management system, has what we call a responsive design. And as I change the size of the browser window, you can see that the content is changing. So that if people are looking at it on their mobile phone or a tablet, they're still going to have a rich experience and they're going to be able to easily navigate through the site. So that's something that I'm really proud of so far. The other thing I'm really proud of is that in one of our recent demos, a visually impaired colleague went back and looked after the demo and said that this new version of the website works really well with his audio reader. So we'll continue to test out our accessibility to make sure that we're meeting the WCAG requirements and our mobile responsiveness. I just want to show you just a couple more. So this is what the interior pages look like. We've got space for content, for images. The menu on the interior pages is contextual for that specific part of the site. So if we're looking at the Chancellor's part of the website, for example, here, there are links to the Chancellor's staff. There's even a link to the archive of Chancellors over the existence of Peralta. And I'd be remiss if I didn't show the Board of Trustees website. So this is what we've got so far here with contact information. I updated the information for our student trustees on the live site. It hasn't been updated yet on this demo. We will get to that. You can see again the menu for once we get down to a phone-sized display, the high-level navigation turns into a drop-down box at the top. So it's still really easy for people to navigate through around the site. And with that, that really kind of concludes my demo. The next steps is that we are continuing to work on the content. So we need to convert the content from our current WordPress site over to the new HubSpot content management system. So Aaron Harbour from the marketing team will be working with different stakeholders at the district departments to make that happen. The second thing is that there is a ton of content on the Peralta website now. We're talking PDFs and files that go back, literally a decade because the site has been around since 2011. So we're thinking about how best to archive that, and it's probably not going to be archived in the new website. So it would be archived in probably SharePoint, which is our internal service, since most of that is information that's relevant for employees at best. And with that, I'll gladly answer any questions that you might have, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mark. Are there any questions or input? I did see Micah saying good job.
I think we have a few.
Just really appreciate the attention to detail in terms of accessibility.
I think we have Trustee Gonzalez-Yuan and Trustee Delphine Polk, and then I also have a question.
Great. Thank you for the demonstration. I think probably in the most critical component of this is how user-friendly this is for students in terms of finding classes, finding programs, registering, getting financial aid, access to student services. And for that, I really appreciate that you got some user group people trying to navigate it. And what I would really, if you're not already doing this, really, really, really work that piece. Like complete strangers, novices, people who have zero experience with Peralta, figure out how to get tests from those people to see how long did it take them to register for a class? How long did it take them to, to actually get enrolled, find their classes, find services, et cetera. If we don't do that, I think we're failing. And, and maybe on Flex Day, in the fall, get the entire district to go through an exercise of trying to do that. Like, all right, what's it actually like to navigate our website so that we understand what our students are dealing with? So that's, I think probably the most important part. And then secondly, how user-friendly is this for faculty and staff? So, wide testing on this, particularly divisions and programs that are trying to put up and highlight their content. I think you probably understand that we're dramatically understaffed in this area. So creating content that, really highlights our programs. We don't have enough ability to do that, but maybe figuring out how do we tap into the super users to do the, each one teach one or something like that. So I'm sure you've thought those through. If you haven't, take those as friendly suggestions. I noticed then also when you showed the student, the trustee page, the old trustee page that I was looking at today, for some reason, doesn't have, like the current trustee page doesn't have our current photos. And at some point those were there and now they're gone. And it's defaulted to some photo that makes me look like a teenager.
And you have a complaint against that, Nikki?
No, when you have white hair, you figure you've earned it. Honestly, I've earned it. So let me just show that. But photos, I think picture tells 1,000 words. I think a photo on those pages would probably, I realize they load slower, especially on phones, et cetera, but I think that it humanizes representatives of our community who are the representatives of our community instead of just being a random name. In the past, there's also been links to brief bios so that people who want to know something about who in fact represents the community has an opportunity to find out a little bit, a couple sentences, something along those lines. I don't mean pages and pages. Thank you so much for the initiative. This is long overdue. Kudos to you and your staff, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Trustee Delphine Polk.
Thank you. I recognize that this is a very large undertaking. So hopefully you may have thought of an answer to the question I'm going to ask. I think I actually asked this of you during your last presentation. Language access, is this going to be available in other languages? Because I understand that we have members of our community whose first language is not necessarily English. Do you have that on your radar?
I do, yeah. We haven't, it's on my radar. We haven't started functionally making that happen. Right now, the current website is done with a Google Translate option. It's not actually native to the website as itself. So we've, that's one of the options that we're going to explore.
Thank you.
I will say, Trustee Delphine Polk, I want to give a shout out to my colleagues from our Hispanic Serving Institutes. We have been working on translating many of our ads into Spanish, and some things that we have that are coming very soon is Spanish language ad that will be rolling around town on AC Transit buses. We have banners and videos that are in process that should air starting sometime in August.
That's great.
So that's on the way.
Thanks.
Great work, Mark. Just a comment and a couple of questions. Really great work. It's wonderful to see that. And thank you for the translatability between looking at the content on a phone and on a laptop. It still surprises me that there are websites out there that don't actually have that translatability thought in, kind of implemented in. The question that I have is this just for the Peralta website, or is this for all of or do the colleges have their own web designers?
I am so glad that you asked that question, President Reese. We are viewing this as a sort of pilot. Currently, the 4 college websites are managed on the HubSpot, on the WordPress content management system. And the great thing about WordPress is that it's free. The unfortunate thing about WordPress is that it's free, and people don't make that investment. Therefore, they don't make that commitment to really keeping up with it. And as my colleagues at the 4 colleges know, sometimes that means that the website doesn't give all the attention that it needs in order to stay truly up to date. So what we are viewing is that this is a pilot program to show what a content management system like HubSpot would do for us. It gives us much tighter integration with our marketing tools, the system that we use for sending email and for sending SMS text messages. It's all round up together in HubSpot. So there are a number of automation options and synergies that we have because of that. It's also pretty low cost. We're doing a lot of this work in-house. Give a real shout out to Aaron Harbour, the current web content developer. He's done a great job at learning the HubSpot content management system and is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in-house. Also, Marcus Creel, the designer in our house, is doing a lot of the work within HubSpot. The way that works is we spend a lot of time up front taking our cascading style sheets, the page layout style guides, and getting those to work well. And then once those templates are set within the content management system, then it's just a matter of uploading words and pictures and videos, really. And so we've made a lot of progress on that front in-house. I think if we can demonstrate the value of this non-free content management system, that perhaps the colleges may want to follow suit a year or two down the line. But right now, we do not have plans to force anybody to do anything, but we are exploring this as an alternative system to see if it would ultimately be a benefit. And the single huge advantage of possibly integrating the 4 college websites with the district website is the expanded function of our marketing tools for email, SMS, and website automation. If a person visits this page and they've received this email, then we send them this text message. That's a really exciting possibility that we have. The other thing is that HubSpot is hosted in the cloud, so we don't have to pay a company like InMotion Hosting, our current vendor, for their server space to host our website. It's supported in the cloud. It's part of our content management fee, which is nice.
Good. And the last,
I hope that helps.
It does. And I hope that the colleges find it worthy and that they follow suit, because it looks great thus far. It really definitely does. So good work. And the last thing is, Trustee Withrow and I have been talking about this quite a bit. It'd be really wonderful, and I'm sure you all have thought about this, it'd be really wonderful to get the testimonies or quotes from students that have gone through and experienced, like CJ Anderson, Gabriela Manriquez, for example, just mentioned today from Laney College, right? Would love to actually show the public how many wonderful things our students have been doing and are doing. Like, that needs to be out there. So if you can get that on the Peralta website and all the college websites, I think that that would be an incredible marketing tool, because it's our students speaking, not us, right?
100% agreed. Thank you.
And I believe we have one more comment. Student Trustee Cooper.
Just pre-qualification here. This is a comment to the board as a whole on this, and I just love all the amazing work and progress I'm seeing here. I do just want to note, just for the sake of putting it in our minds, thank you, Diana Delphin Polk, for your mention about ESL readers who might be navigating our page. I just have the slightest bit of concern with, the kind of a cart before the horse idea when I hear, oh, we're kind of working on, effective translations on the page. Understandable. But are we advertising to get them in here? Oh, you betcha, so I do understand, but I just want to make sure that as we've found ourselves in this situation where we're attracting individuals into our system that we haven't necessarily fully accommodated yet, that we make sure that we note that, and that is just a fire under our ears, top priority. Because I'm sure you all know there's some major translation limitations to Google Translate. But still, amazing progress. Just wanted to make sure that that was a top priority. Thanks so much.
We are good. I think, Chancellor, back to you.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for their presentations tonight. I usually try to keep my report short, but I would be remiss if I didn't speak at least a little bit to the return to campus. I mentioned it when Student Trustee Cooper asked about some of the projects that came before the board tonight. And I want to say that is a reflection of the work that IVC Smith and her team, along with AECOM and our legal team, got through all of those contracts to be able to bring it to the board for ratification and approval tonight. The board has constantly reminded us and stated that the health and welfare of our students and staff are a primary concern. And of course, we're going to abide by those guidelines, and we are in the process of finalizing some workplace conditions and making sure that they're in compliance with OSHA as we establish our preliminary plans. Just a couple of points. We're looking at moving and having what we call a soft opening or reopening this fall. We are still going to have face-to-face courses. We're looking at those critical courses that need to be there, as well as expanding some of the courses based upon faculty's desire to return to campus. We're doing that in a concerted effort. We're looking at 2 phases. We've already got our schedule out for the campuses. So we've identified what buildings we're going to need for immediate use in the fall. And some of those contracts are going to address those. We're not looking at opening up the entire campuses. And then phase 2 will be ongoing testing and intensive cleaning initiative that will further prepare the buildings to be fully operational for the spring 2022 reopening. And I'd like to end my report with a recognition of service. And Sasha, if you could bring up the picture. Many times, as you said, President Reese, we acknowledge individuals on our campus, students and faculty. And at the last board meeting, it was mentioned in the classified Senate report that Brenda Lewis, who is a College of Alameda staff assistant, will be retiring this year, has retired this year after 30 years of service to the district. Brenda came into the district in 1991. I met her in 2004, so I've known her for 17 years, a little more than half the time that she's worked for the district. And so I wanted to put her picture up there. I want you to see what she looks like. And I would like to ask the board if they would entertain closing this meeting in recognition of her 30+ years of service to not only College of Alameda, but for the district as a whole. And that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We will definitely do that. Thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, Presidents. All right, let's move to the consent calendar. I believe that's where we need to go.
We actually have item 3 for informational, the first reading.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. My apologies. Okay, let us go to the informational.
And I think that Vice Chancellor McKinley can address that item.
I can. Thank you, Chancellor, President Reese, and the trustees and colleagues. This is the first reading of a EEO fund multi-method allocation certification report that's required by the State Chancellor's Office. Our EEO Advisory Committee met and approved the report, and I'd like to thank them very much for all of their work and looking at the report and reading it and discussing it. And also, I'd like to thank my executive assistant, Coral Taylor, who worked diligently to help us put together this report. As you look at it, it's pretty extensive and with lots of attachments. I'm happy to report that we are in compliance with the requirements, which would enable us then to continue to receive about $50,000 in money to use for our EEO efforts. And then we will bring this report back at the July 27th meeting for second reading and requesting approval by the board. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Dr. McKinley. Board members, trustees, do we have any questions? No, seeing none. Okay, thank you. Let's go to the consent calendar. Can I have a motion for the consent calendar, please? Thank you, Trustee Withrow.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen. Okay, let us do roll call.
Student Trustee Hogan.
Yes.
Student Trustee Cooper.
Yes.
Trustee Withrow.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Trustee Jenkins, are you there? We'll come
I
back.
believe that Trustee Jenkins may have stepped out along with Trustee Handy.
Okay, Trustee Delphine Polk.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen.
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Villariz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to the reports. Trustee reports, that is our agenda. Let us go on to the trustee reports. Let's start with student trustee Hogan. Do you have a report at? Okay.
No.
Student trustee Cooper. And I'm not sure if both of you know what the report outs are. They are just anything that you did in the past 2 weeks that is related to your role as a student trustee, related to the district. And you need not actually put forth a report. If you'd like to, you may, but you don't need to.
I have a little bit of a report. It's not exactly in format, if that's all right, but it's very important to me. It's what I think is the most important information to report to all of you and my constituents, and a bit of an icebreaker for me joining the board. Okay, thank you. Pre-qualification as I start this, I share this with the best of intentions. It's not necessarily the warmest message, but I've been very cautious to observe Brown Act and make sure I'm not doing any explicit criticism and just sticking to the facts and being productive about them. So I am honored to step into this role of service to the board, the community, and most importantly, my fellow students. However, I am also gravely concerned about the nature of what it is I am stepping into. As student trustee and second-term student president of my college, I have come to appreciate claims in the FCMAT reports and grand jury reports and the like when citing a culture of confrontation and poor communication within the Peralta district. It has been my solemn hope that we are marching on into a brighter future. However, after my very first meeting on this board, I see our reputation endures. As I was confronted with challenges to my statements in panelist chat boxes where we are forbidden from communicating during meetings as the public can't see that discourse. I must urge the board to recognize the severity of these actions and take immediate responsibility to rectify the state of discourse and interaction between board members, as well as to prepare to work amicably with both students and student leaders alike. I regret that I feel the need to note that I am not here to make friends. I am here to serve my peers and remove anything obstructing that duty by any means necessary afforded to me within the scope of law and policy. I think one of the most powerful ways the board could show this amicable and genuine support would be to take up the responsibility of getting student trustees trained prior to our first days serving our roles, so that we are not left with little defense when we are discouraged from voting on agendas with a raise of salary resulting in over $300,000 on it, during a time when our fiscal practices are under so much scrutiny. In absence of providing us reasonable ability to knowingly engage these issues, I believe we should be offering however much time is required to clarify each issue we are reviewing at each and every meeting, or take up that responsibility of getting us informed post haste. Student trustees cannot be left to rely on training resources provided by the state or others out of sync with our community or the starting time of our roles. It is my firm belief that these should be provided in-house, in addition to those resources provided elsewhere. That said, thank you very much for welcoming me to the board in each of your own ways. Whatever the future brings us, I wish all of you and our entire community the best in this coming semester and every other to come.
Thank you for sharing your concerns. May I go to the next individual? Trustee Jenkins, you are not here. Trustee Delphine Polk.
I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen, we have a very lean board today. Okay, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you. I'm going to take a pass tonight. We're moving through this agenda in record time. I wouldn't want to spoil that.
I'm sure are. And I will pass too. I just want to say, college presidents, it's just really wonderful to hear everything that's happening, whether it's the external partnerships that are happening over at Laney with our with Schnitzel Steel, or whether it's hearing about what's happening at Berkeley City College and hearing these wonderful outcomes from AB 705. I mean, there was a point where people were doubting that, and it's really wonderful to see the direct and hear the direct impact that's happening with our students related to that. And over at COA, again, Dr. Jones, hearing about the aviation technology maintenance programming and seeing that our students are not only graduating, but they're graduating into jobs that are high paying. That is absolutely wonderful. And Merritt, just extraordinary to hear about the space utilization of the Barbara Lee building and the ways in which you are going to designate the third floor to social justice. I think that all that is happening at all these 4 colleges are just so incredibly exciting. And I think the fact that I made that after our board business is really terrible, because you all and what you do is the highlight of our board meeting. So again, my apologies, but thank you for your presentations and your updates, because they're truly wonderful to hear. And with that, we are almost going to adjourn, except for 2 things. We need a report out. And Chancellor Jackson, could you close us out before we adjourn?
Yes, thank you very much. As I indicated, Brenda Lewis, I've known for 17 years. Brenda also is a minister. And so our beloved Miss Lewis, as I like to call her sometimes, because she puts on her ministerial hat, I think it would be appropriate not to say a prayer, because people have different views on religion and who they serve and all of that, but just well wishes to Brenda, well wishes to her retirement from the district. And I know she is not retiring from her beloved church and her beloved services. So thank you very much for joining me and wishing her all the best, and for all of her service and the positive impact she has made on students. Really, I'm sure we couldn't even count them. So Brenda, I know you're not out there, but know that we appreciate that. That is what makes this district great, is people like her. So thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. And Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen, it's all yours.
Thank you. Our closing announcements tonight. Summer semester classes conclude July 22nd. Thank you and congratulations to all students studying this summer. And thank you for the employees, administrators, classified staff, and faculty who have really worked hard to make it a successful summer term. Enrollment is open for the fall 2021 semester, with classes starting on August 23rd. You can enroll now at Peralta EDU, and soon enough, you'll have a really nice looking website that you can go to from there, as we saw tonight. The next Board of Trustees meeting will be our retreat coming up July 20th, and then the following Tuesday will be our last meeting for the summer before we take a break in August from board meetings. That is all I have tonight in terms of announcements. Thank you.
Fantastic. With that, we adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you all. Have a fantastic, fantastic 2 weeks. And for those that will be joining us for our retreat, I'll see you in a week.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Happy
Bye.
Disability Pride Month.
Good night, everyone.